You see the Arsenal fans beat. We are here at Chicken Town. I have with me a diehard blue, a Chelsea diehard man. Whether Chelsea is losing or winning, he remains that is unflinching in his support. And now, somehow, Chelsea finally is back. Champions League football. So we're going to be hearing the Champions League anthem at Stamford Bridge. I can see you smiling. So it's been a really roller coaster year for Maresca, and the way he asked some players, asked them to leave, people like Sterling, and the other couple of players too. He sent some on loan and brought them back again. And somehow, he's in the final of the Conference League. And here, he's been able to secure hugely a Champions League position. So what's your take overall for the Chelsea side?
All right, so I appreciate so much, Todd Boyle. This is what Abramovich has made Chelsea. So Champions League is part of our DNA. Winning trophies is part of our DNA. And I would say kudos to Maresca. It has not been an easy task. I would say Maresca was an average coach because winning the championship with Leicester City coming to the Premier League. The Premier League is the most competitive league in the world. You can find La Liga and the other leagues behind it. It has been a very tough season. And I'm happy Maresca made a very critical decision by loaning Joao Felix, pushing away Sterling, and sending Petrovic on loan for him to have the required experience. Bringing him back for the World Cup, Club World Cup coming up is a good one. So for now, I'll tell you, the Chelsea season, it was a good success for me. And we are back into Champions League, and we're coming for it. It's in our DNA, and we're going to win it again next season.
I told you, this guy has an unflinching support for the Blues. But what do you think that he needs to do going forward next season? Because we saw a Chelsea side that they are star-studded, but at the point in some games, they just fizzle out of ideas of what to do, either defending when they have a lead, they cannot hold on to the lead. But somehow in Europe, they were consistent. So what do you think is the difference between these two performances that they have in the Premier League and in Europe?
So I think it comes with the technical team, and I'll just bring this as a case scenario. Around October, November, December, the team squad Chelsea had was on top. They asked him if we're going to win the Champions League, the Premier League. He was like, no, we're just contending to be part of the Premier League. We never said anything like winning it. So I think the technical team has a role to play. Considering the fact the rotation of the players for the Conference League and the Premier League, it's diversified. So the boys are playing their hearts. I will tell you, for this season, Caicedo and Marco Cucurella, these guys played their heart throughout the Premier League, especially for Cucurella. You could see the passion, you could see the zest, the energy, the panache, and moving forward. So the advice I'll put across for Maresca this next season, have all the required players. There's an excuse that we don't have a striker. The defense is having some blunders. But coming next season, there are so many players that are flop. Nkunku is a flop. Jackson is a flop. Magui is a flop. So many of those players we have to offload. So that is why we observe the energy we had in the Conference League. Most of those average players, like the Guiu, the Nkunku, Drusbayo, we know these are average players. So Conference League is an average league. So you cannot play these players in the Premier League. That's why when we reached the quarterfinal, they brought in some of the top big guys into the Premier League. The Palmer, the James, each and every one of them. So for next season, the advice to Maresca, first of all, make sure you have command when it comes to decision making. I think that shows the immaturity and inexperience of him. Because there are times when he has to do substitution, he's not too considerate. So I think that's the problem. And the technical team has a role to play to advise him, and including the assistant coach also. So next season, bring in the striker. If it's Osimhen, go for Osimhen or Gyökeres. Bring in the striker, find a defender, and then I will tell you that could salvage the situation a bit. But the advice for him, he needs to handle substitution taking and also the technical team.
Okay, you've heard it from him. But another thing again that gives me concern, considering how much you guys have spent over the seasons or over the years, do you really think it is an ideal thing for footballers to also dish out some amount of money again and say, let's go into the market and sell? Considering the fact that most of the guys that you said they should offload might not be wanted by other club sides. So how do you think this challenge should be solved within the club?
So solutions, straight. There are players we have to move out. Like United is moving already. Garnacho is moving out from Manchester United. The same for Chelsea. We have to. There's a thing called Dreb in Creole. We left for Dreb, and players like Nkunku, we left for Dreba. Forcefully, who wants it? Joao Felix is also from Sterling. We don't want him again. And Sancho, we don't want him again. Sancho, we are returning Sancho back to United because Estivao is coming from Brazil. And Estivao is a top player. And also, we're going to buy Osimhen. I know Todd Boyle is a crazy guy. Spent over $1 billion into the Premier League,
Right.
buying some of these players who, if you look at them, their performance for the previous games, they're not worth it at all. So it tells you he bought these players because it's a board, Boyle and Egbali, this guy, all those guys, they're crazy. If they could listen to the fans, we'll tell them these are the players we want. It could salvage the situation. But next season, if these players, we put them in the market, there's no team coming up for them. We reserve them to the reserve team, send them on the 23 until they get the mindset.
I like that.
Take for instance, João Felix.
Yeah, it's ruthless.
João Felix, you were there for Atletico Madrid. You went to Barcelona. Attitude. You came to Chelsea also. Attitude. We loaned you to AC Milan. Attitude, the same thing. Now nobody wants you, and we place 50 fucking. Sorry for the word. We place 50 fucking pong on you, million pong, and then you're an average player. We know you're a world class player, but look at what you did. So it speaks volumes. Say next season, Nkunku is a flop. João Felix is a flop. Sanchez, Sanchez, our goalkeeper, is a damn flop. That's the biggest flop I've ever seen in football. That goalkeeper is a flop. And also, Badiashile is a flop. We got so many flop. Guyu is a flop. So many flop, I tell you.
Okay, now, the one takeaway, you mentioned Maresca is an average coach. Do you think Maresca have got the capacity and the tactical know-how to handle the star-studded Chelsea side that you're looking forward to next season?
I think he's getting there. I'll tell you, because his experience for being a professional manager is now actually being tried and tested. Because when he played in his footballing era to now is a different thing. And we all know how the Premier League is going. Very competitive. Next season, Champions League format is a new one. We all experienced it this season. We watched from the Conference League how deadly it was. And next season, teams coming in, they're hungry. So we need quality players. Like I said earlier, he's an average coach. And I think this is the first test experience. So moving from the Championship, coming to Premier League, into the Conference League, into the Europa, it jump started. So he actually faced different phases. So it tells you next season, I hope he have everything needed. And Boyle is going to listen to me. Boyle, you and the guy, you're going to listen to me. If Maresca demands for players, give him the players. We don't want to excuse next season because the players are there. We all know for now the gap in Chelsea, attacker, and also for the defense, that is the gap. So if he requested for a striker who's Osimhen, I just hope Mikel will talk to Osimhen. Being Osimhen, we have a cost for number 9. He's an African man, he's a Nigerian guy. And anyone Nigerians could do for up front, for goal. So bring Osimhen, so we have no excuse. So next season, he will deliver because some length within the league, he becomes studded. Because we squad doesn't have a depth. So he was a bit struggling. That's why he had to rotate and rotate. Look at Jackson was not even today. Zoran Nicholas very unserious. Nicholas Jackson, he is a flop. He needs also to be removed. So we've got so many things. So bringing a striker, bringing a defender, I tell you, and also a goalkeeper, Chelsea is up for grab for next season's Premier Leagues and Champions League.
So one last message to the Blues family.
So Chelsea, we're coming for this, and this is a quick fact. We're going to be the first team in Europe to win the Champions League, Europa, and the Conference League. And I tell you, as a Chelsea fan, we are going, and I tell you, the Abramovich spirit he's starting to be reviving again. And Boyle is getting it. Because Chelsea, winning is part of our DNA. Winning trophies and appearing in Europe, not conference like Manchester United, who is not a serious team at all. But it shows how energetic we are. And I tell you, this Conference League, we are winning against Betis. We've only changed our logo. This is the year of the birds. This is the year of the underdog. Chelsea for now, this is their underdogs. And that tells you we are winning the Conference League. So let's come on and support Chelsea and win the Conference League right there in Warsaw.
Thank you, Dictionary.
Thank you
That's
very
a
much.
good one. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Read it from a diehard Blues man. So until then, this is the Arsenal fans view.